Run, and Walk on March 7th. And on March 6th, it's the 55th anniversary of the WIBX Heart Radiothon. Sponsored by the Slocum-Dixon Medical Group this year, the Radiothon started when local runners honored the passing of WIBX personality Ralph Ellinger. They ran for 18 miles and raised money for the American Heart Association. Celebrate with us on March 6th. Hear from Slocum-Dixon doctors about ways to be healthy. Cheer on participants in the treadmill challenge and help fight heart disease.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
I believe it's working. Good God. I swear to God, yesterday, this is like shop talk that I shouldn't even be talking about, but when you're frustrated and you don't know what else to talk about, what are you going to do? So yesterday, all of a sudden, it looked like something happened and everything froze, so we had to restart the computer. When I restarted the streaming computer, the YouTube computer, all of the settings were gone. And I had to put all the settings back in, build everything all over again. And then got it all set, everything good, and I thought everything was done. And came in this morning and hit go live or start streaming. And it's working now, Davey? Well, that's now. Might not be next hour. And then it's like you haven't put any of your credentials in. Now, these credentials, because they're two computer systems, mine and the station's, just the password alone is like 30 digits with dashes and capitals and everything else. And then you have to put in this thing called the stream key, which is another 30 digits. And by the time you're done, I put it in wrong. I capitalized one that didn't. This is what I'm going through right now. But I think we're live.
That's called job security.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm glad I added Diet Pepsi to my vodka this morning because that's going to help. All right, what do we know? Okay, you've got a few things going on that you're working on. Starting with, can we start with LaMedico? What do we know about what happened last night at the Common Council meeting? And we have asked Jack to come on the air this morning, but we are getting nowhere on that one.
Yeah, did he reply?
No, I didn't get
a reply either.
No.
Maybe he's got a different number. So Utica Councilman Jack LaMedico apologized last night for his comment about hazard pay, which occurred approximately a week ago. This was in a conversation with the Utica Fire Chief, Scott Ingersoll. I did describe some of this yesterday, but essentially the gear that firefighters wear, not just Utica, it's designed to be fire repellent, heat repellent, protect you in case, if you're in there really fighting the battle with flames around you and things like that. Obviously, that's not a typical material that you go to your local store and you buy T-shirts made of that type of material. One of the chemicals in there, and I forget how it's pronounced.
PFAS.
Yeah, PFAS, but the actual, what that actually stands for is kind of wrong.
Polyetrimoxylene.
Yes, something, yeah. But it's called
I just
typically.
Made that up, but it could be. It's probably close.
It is poly
something. Right?
Poly something. Yeah,
I did hear that.
It's got what's kind of referred to as the forever chemical, in that it doesn't break down and it accumulates over time.
Ultimately, could cause.
It's a carcinogen.
Could cause cancer for firefighters.
Yes, while protecting them, it also brings in a risk for cancer.
But there's another brand another kind that could be used that doesn't have the carcinogen, but costs a little more and doesn't last as long.
Yes.
So there's where this controversy comes in, and then LaMedico's comment is,
"Isn't that what you get hazard pay for?"
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jack spoke to the council and really a packed house last night. It was a lot of firefighters and members of their family there. He apologized. I thought he seemed, very sincere. Obviously, it was a very insensitive comment to make. And then there were comments from some, I don't even know if they're current members of the fire department.
We really pay hazard pay because the job in itself is a hazard. You're
Correct.
Walking into a burning building. You're paying hazard pay for that. If we can find ways to eliminate dangers such as toxins, carcinogens that may cause cancer, that is something we must do. It shouldn't be a question of should we do it. We must do it. So hazard pay doesn't cover that.
There were a few different speakers, among them.
Not that I had to explain that, but
past union president Tommy Carcone spoke, and he had some really strong words. And I actually think some of his criticism was directed more at the current fire chief than it was Jack LaMedico. He was telling the members, you don't have anybody in this room that's sticking up for you, that's looking out for you. I was kind of shocked at the comments he made.
Well, is he targeting the union also?
I think he was talking about the fire chief, and the assistant fire chief, and I think he said so by name, or at least by position, I should say.
Yeah.
Brian McQueen, who's a past president of Believe 271, which is an organization that certainly at a minimum advocates for firefighters and first responders, but he is someone who I believe is a cancer survivor. I know he's had cancer. I don't know if he's still dealing with it, but he talked about, statistics, 14% increased likelihood to get cancer for a firefighter versus the average person, 18% higher risk of getting cancer and dying from cancer.
Which is kind of the reason why when the whole Chief Brooks thing came up and the city was saying you didn't get the cancer from 9/11.
Carcone mentioned that as well.
The rest of us are kind of looking from the outside in on this saying, well, it's probably a 99.9% chance he got the cancer from some fire that he fought for representing and protecting the city of Utica. So it's a risk. There's a real high risk. Even we learned recently that firefighters are not supposed to carry their gear in their vehicles when they leave a fire, because that would then basically place the toxins in their vehicle and would transport it and keep it there. So you're by regulation you're supposed to not put it in your vehicle. Just shows you how sensitive the body is to these chemicals.
Carcone mentioned that as well. He ran down a laundry list. It had to be at least a half a dozen agencies, including the 9/11, I'm not going to get these names right, the 9/11 Survivors Foundation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, all these things that said Chief Brooks got cancer from 9/11 and the toxins that were in the air. He goes, and everybody, and he ran down this whole list, and then he goes, except for the city of Utica, said, no, you didn't.
Except for the city of Utica. Yeah, that was bad. That whole thing was a mess.
Yeah, and I wonder how much it had to do with a personal gripe between the mayor at that time, Rob Palmieri, and the fire chief, Russ Brooks.
So the apology came. Was it an apology, would you say?
It was an apology.
Okay.
He said, and again,
Jack's a veteran.
He's
right?
a veteran. Yes, he is.
Decent guy.
He was in law enforcement, parole officer.
Clearly was probably trying to be, Jack LaMedico and making that comment, and it backfired. My guess is he wishes he never said it.
Yeah, and he even went as far as to say things like, I've been doing this for a while. He talked about his service. He goes, I, of anybody, should know better than to make a statement like that. So it seems sincere. I think he's certainly been humbled with the reaction that he's gotten.
Yeah.
Because it certainly is insensitive. It's
all
like,
right. Well,
anyway.
What else do you have? You got a whole bunch of things. I was trying to fix the YouTube.
Well, I'd love to hear from some Trump supporters this morning, and not all the news agencies have picked up on this story, but many have.
Lance says he was also talking about the mayor. Yeah, okay. All right, what's the story?
This morning,
we have like 3 minutes.
All right. I'm going to use all three if you don't mind. Some U.S. military leaders are telling troops in Iran, and apparently this came from the Defense Department or Department of War, that they're being instructed to tell troops this. This morning, our commander opened up the combat readiness status briefing by urging us not to be afraid of what is happening with our combat operations in Iran right now. He urged us to tell our troops that this was, quote, all part of God's divine plan. He specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelation referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. He said that President Trump, this is what they're telling the troops.
You're repeating kind of my overview from yesterday. This is for Pete Hegseth and other people surrounding the president, we're in a holy war here. This was all laid out in Project 2025, and this is all about Christian nationalism. This is what is going on right now, and we have been chosen by God to carry out this holy war.
Well, I don't know about we, but it specifically says, he said that President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. Weinstein, a former Air Force officer, said the complaints represent the unrestricted euphoria of some U.S. military commanders who believe the ongoing conflict in Iran represents Christian fundamentalism as described in the New Testament book of Revelation.
By the way, they're forgetting about the teachings of Jesus, whose teachings are completely different, all about kindness and helping your neighbors and et cetera, et cetera. We don't teach those things, apparently. We're only in the book of Revelations. It is. Listen, I also read a thing very interesting yesterday, and I don't know. There's a guy out there who's a Canadian, of Asian descent. He's Canadian, and he predicted that President Trump would win a second term. Now this is all before last year. He predicted President Trump would win a second term, and I went back to verify it, and he did. In stories prior to last year, prior to the election, predicted Trump would win, predicted we would attack Iran and start a war, that he would start a war with Iran. And his prediction is the United States will lose because Iran doesn't live by the same rules that we live by. They're in it for the long run here. We'll talk more about this on the other side. I'm not saying it's true, but that's what he's saying.
From
We'll
the
get to it.
WIBX Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
A new threat from Iran. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After the U.S. sank a warship in international waters with a torpedo, Iran's foreign minister posted on social media today the U.S. will come to bitterly regret the precedent set, calling it an atrocity at sea.
Abbas Araghchi says the vessel was a guest of the Indian Navy and was attacked without warning. Meanwhile, a senior Iranian cleric has appeared on state TV to call for the shedding of blood from Israelis and President Trump. Still no official word on who'll be selected as the Islamic Republic's new supreme leader.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Now, Iran did launch more missiles into Israel this morning that were shot down. There are reports of explosions in Qatar and Bahrain. As the U.S. and Israel keep up the attacks, Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv.
A senior Israeli official telling Fox News today over the phone that the regime is now having trouble communicating and coordinating as Israeli and American strikes go after the IRGC leadership structure and the entire mechanism of repression. It's referred to the organization that cracked down on protesters earlier this year.
Now, Democrats keep trying to limit President Trump in Iran.
In their blind hatred of the president, just being opposed to anything that he wants to do.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune, as Republicans blocked a war powers resolution the House will vote on today. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Regime change wars have never worked out for the American people and have cost thousands of lives.
Oil prices are rising more. Another 6-cent increase also at the gas pump. AAA's national average for regular $3.25 per gallon this morning, up 26 cents in 3 days. Well, in a new Fox News poll,
37% rating the U.S. economy as poor, while 7% describe it as excellent and 23% as good. More than half of those polled, 57%, rating their personal finances as only fair or poor.
That's Fox's Kristen Goodwin, and the approval rating for President Trump only at 43% in that poll. America's listening to Fox News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
It's not unusual for protesters to interrupt congressional hearings, but this is different.
A man in a Marine uniform started shouting during the Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on the readiness of the Joint Force. That man, later identified as Brian McGinnis of North Carolina, as he kept yelling, Committee Chair Dan Sullivan warned,
Capitol Police will escort any protesters out of the hearing room.
They tried to do just that, but McGinnis fought back. That's when Republican Senator Tim Sheehy of Montana jumped in, helping the cops get McGinnis out of the room. During the melee, McGinnis caught his hand in a door, breaking it. He's now facing several charges, including assaulting a police officer. Jill Nato, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are down modestly the day after rebound gains. Both the Dow and the Nasdaq rose more than 200 points. A legend of college football has died. A coach, Lou Holtz, who President Trump honored in 2020 with the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
I will say this about Lou. Everybody loves him. Everybody respects him. He's tough as hell. And yet they all respect Lou. They just, it's amazing. They love him and they respect him.
Lou Holtz, who restored greatness at Notre Dame and led the Irish to the national title in 1988, has died at 89 years old. Holtz spent 33 years as a head coach at the college level, including stops at North Carolina State, Arkansas, Minnesota, and South Carolina. But he was most known for his time in South Bend, where he had 100 wins over 11 seasons as head coach of the Irish. Holtz instituted several traditions at Notre Dame. The play like a champion sign that Fighting Irish players honor on their way out to the field was first displayed during the Holtz era. I'm Joe Morgan, Fox News.
The World Baseball Classic has begun. Korea playing Czechia now after Australia shut out Chinese Taipei in the opener late last night. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have mostly cloudy skies, 29 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. New Hartford police investigating a bank robbery that occurred on Seneca Turnpike. It happened around 10 o'clock yesterday morning at NBT Bank. Police officials say the suspect threatened to use a weapon. No one was injured. No word yet on the amount of money that was stolen. Anyone with information on the case is asked to contact New Hartford Police. Utica Councilman Jack Lemetico apologizing for an insensitive remark he recently made about firefighter turnout gear and the potential health risks associated with the so-called forever chemical that can impact those first responders. When discussing new turnout gear for the UFD that does not contain the chemical, Lemetico retorted, "Isn't that what you get hazard pay for?" Lemetico apologized for the comment in front of a crowded city council meeting last night. Many of those in attendance were Utica Fire Department members and their families. Years after closing down for good, work is now underway to demolish the Great Northern Mall in Clay. Most of the former shopping center will be torn down later this month once power is shut off and the town issues the required permits. The developer who purchased the property says he wants to turn it into a large residential, retail, and medical complex. Everything will be removed with the exception of the former Dick's Sporting Goods store. And Syracuse University is teaming up with...
What are they putting in there?
I'm confused as to why they're demolishing it. They want to turn it into a residential, retail, and medical complex, which...
Wow.
I think is actually what's going to happen to a lot of malls.
Tim, I don't know if
it's going to be like community senior living type
We've
setup.
been talking about this for quite some time, and I was hearing some rumblings that this was happening at Sangertown. And just think of once they build that, what comes next? Now you can move in the businesses of the building, the vacancies can be filled with little. I mean, go to Florida, go to Denver, go to other parts around the country where they have these communities. They build. There are little grocery stores surrounding them, and they have an entire community is created. I think this is a good idea.
Well, I don't understand why they're demolishing the whole thing then, except for Dick's Sporting Goods.
Probably the buildings themselves are of a nature that you kind of really can't do anything with them.
Well, here's without getting into the weeds here. This is it's the modern day construction strategy. It's why when McDonald's wants, look at the Thruway. It's why instead of taking what they already have and remodeling it, it's less expensive to just wipe it out and completely build new under current codes. That's just the way. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm just saying that's the way we do it today.
But when in the example you gave with Sangertown, it's Sangertown and as it exists now, not knocking it all down and building something new. Not necessarily.
I understand what you're saying. If you look at these communities in Florida and around the country, there's green space as well. So I think we'll be very surprised to see what the plans look like. I'm extremely excited about this.
Bill, speaking of green space, good segue, Syracuse University teaming up with a cannabis education company to offer some new programs. The partnership with Green Flower allows students to learn about the cannabis industry, such as how to grow it, develop it, sell it, and the medical use purposes for it. These 6 new courses will be offered online starting next week. Anyone who is 21 or older can enroll, even if they're not a current SU student. There are currently 600 adult-use cannabis dispensaries in New York State, roughly 30 of them in the central New York region. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 7:09. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
March, a month of transition, and we'll transition again today with a winter weather advisory in effect. That's going to be all of Oneida County and south and east again, as freezing rain could be a problem. We'll roll through today, clouds will thicken up, and we may see a little bit of rain, could mix with some sleet or snow later. That chance is going to be probably this afternoon through this evening, 38, so well above freezing. Tonight, right near freezing, so that means all the meteorological wintry weather, some snow, sleet, freezing rain, making for some slick streets and spots. Most of that precip should end early tomorrow, mostly clouded in the afternoon, 38. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stejik, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies and 29 degrees. Bill, I see you furiously typing over there. Are you looking to get a higher education?
Higher education, yeah. I'm going green. Yeah, trying to think of I'm trying to think of a funny line that wouldn't make you say, clearly, you're a baby boomer with that term used. We haven't used that term since 72. How about some sports?
Yes, how about it? All right, the Giants starting the preseason in an unfamiliar place this summer. The New York Post says Big Blue will likely hold the first 2 weeks of training camp at the Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia. MetLife Stadium will be used for the World Cup games, and there's also ongoing construction at the team facility in East Rutherford. The Jets continue to look for a veteran option at quarterback. According to the NFL Network, the Jets have begun doing work, quote, doing work on Tua Tagovailoa. ESPN also reported that the Jets would be interested in pursuing Kyler Murray. Both quarterbacks are currently under contract, but will likely be released by the start of the new league year, which begins next week. The Chargers moving on from a member of their offensive line. LA is releasing guard Mekhi Becton after one season with the team. The move saves LA almost $10 million. The 26-year-old struggled in his lone season with the team. He battled through injuries with was limited to 14 starts. He is a former New York Jet. Former Notre Dame football coach legend Lou Holtz has died at the age of 89. Notre Dame Athletics said in a post on X that Holtz died in Orlando, Florida, surrounded by family. He entered hospice care in January. The College Football Hall of Fame member earned a national title while coaching the Fighting Irish from 1986 to 1996. Holtz also coached at William & Mary, NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, South Carolina, and for only one season in the NFL with the New York Jets. I don't remember that. Lou Holtz was the coach of the Jets?
That I don't remember.
He later went on to become a college football analyst for ESPN.
Did he get done? Was it when he got done? Was it the controversy over a case where somebody was, or was that not his ending?
What are we talking? No, you're confusing Penn
Wasn't
State?
There, maybe, yes.
Penn State.
Yep, I am.
What else do I want to mention? The Knicks lost to the Thunder 103-100 at MSG. Karl Anthony Towns had 17 points. The Nets will visit the Heat coming up tonight, a rematch from their blowout loss the other night. Syracuse plays on Saturday. Smitty, who are they playing? Oh, he's not in there.
Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. And that's their regular season finale.
It is. Oh, my God. What a year this has been.
Lou Holtz coached the Jets?
I think that era back then, everybody was dropping from some Me Too situation, but not him.
1976. He went 3-10 with the Jets before resigning so he could return to college football.
Yeah.
He didn't even last a whole year.
That's when he thought, it's me. What he didn't realize was, no, it's the Jets. It's the Jets. Okay, we have a lot to get to. I mentioned there's a contract issue with the union that represents many of the employees at Hamilton College. Lawrence Garrett wants to chat about that. Also this morning, Haberbush, Coach Rob Haberbush, is the head coach of Hamilton College's men's hockey team, and they're ranked in the top 5 in the country. And we'll speak with him coming up a bit. Hobica's free money question of the day. What did I say? $250 this morning. We'll give you a chance to win that. We have tickets to give away for the Pioneers game Saturday night at the Adirondack Bank Center. That comes from Shipwright office in South Utica.
Also, can we get some reaction? You know, anytime you're critical of Trump, there's a couple of people in particular who take issue with that. I'd love to hear from some Trump supporters.
Well, you're the one that brought up this, and I've heard the same story.
I want to hear back from people. Is this what we voted for? We voted for Armageddon? Trump is like Jesus 2.0?
Yeah, well, there are people that believe that he was sent to save America, that God sent him. I just can't, it's like when I if God's going to save anybody, I would hope he starts at the cancer ward with the little children, because those are the ones that I think we need to save first.
If you were married and had an affair,
and then everybody else
with a porn star,
meanwhile,
Jesus says, "I've got your back."
Meanwhile, Tim is sitting over there like, "What?
Why did I come in today?
Got me into?
Can I come back next week
for my sins?"
Listen, I want to ask you though. Because you lived. Here we are talking about it, and I hate to say, but even the president and other presidents have sent our men and women into conflict and into danger, and they've never done it themselves. I don't want to pick just on this president; he's not the only one. But you've been there. When you hear all of this and this Armageddon, this Christian nationalism, and all of this. What does it make you as a veteran? What comes to your mind?
It's very depressing.
It is.
I mean, it's not. That's not what it's about. I mean, when you're there, you're not sitting there thinking, "Gosh, I wonder what religion this guy is that's next to me in the foxhole or what." I mean, it's not. It just isn't that way.
Yeah.
I mean, you're set on a mission,
and it is that way though for at least. In the Middle East, it is that way for the enemy. They believe they're in a holy war. They're battling Satan. But it seems like there's a section of our country right now that believes that we're the chosen ones from God. God has chosen us to correct the world, and boy, oh boy, that scares the daylights out of me.
Well, we're playing into their narrative.
It's their narrative, yeah.
I mean, the whole thing, I mean, if we're doing this because whatever, regime change, they were going to do something bad.
Or that God has instructed us to.
Yeah, that I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't think that unifies the country.
I don't. And the other part is, and it's funny because John Wick here this morning is like, the comment was the rest of our allies don't agree that we negotiated to the point where the Iranians walked away and we had no choice, but there was an imminent danger, which they're redefining imminent danger all week long, by the way. But and then he said, well, the rest of the world is woke. We have now come to the conclusion that we are so superior that the rest of the world is stupid. The leaders and the military experts from the rest of the world have no idea that we are so great, that we are so superior that we don't need the rest of the world.
And what does he mean the rest of the world is woke? Tell me, does Iran have openly gay politicians?
Well, he's not talking about. He's talking about our allies. That would not include Iran.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure woke is just gay, but I don't know. Woke has become that word.
Open-mindedness to
woke has become that word where anything you don't agree with is now woke.
Well, no, but hold on though. We're talking about other countries where women aren't allowed to show their face, let alone a leg or an arm or a shoulder.
In some cases, yes. But France, Germany, Great Britain, all of these countries are very cautious in the way they're supporting this.
Oh, I see.
This is what he's saying. These are our allies. The Western allies are all woke, and so I guess if we don't agree with somebody, they are now woke. I'm
going to go back to sleep then.
I'm telling you, it makes you feel that way. It's like after the day's news, you just want to say, I've kind of had enough. I don't want to. I've talked about it all day long. I don't know that I want to continue. I think Tim, you said it right. It's depressing. This is not fun. I don't.
President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark Jesus's
look
return
into the
to
minister.
Earth.
Look into the minister that is close to Hegseth, to Pete Hegseth. Look into that person. Look into, as her name, Laura Loomer, who is the religious leader. I forget what her title is, but for the administration. And then look at not what people say about them. Watch real YouTube videos of them and the things that they're saying. And this tells you who is advising right now and supporting what we're doing. So that to me is really scary. I'm sorry.
I listen to a lot of stuff from a lot of different viewpoints, from far right to far left and everything in between. When I heard this yesterday, I was on the road and I literally pulled off the road on the shoulder and started Googling. And I said, because I don't want to get into where I heard it, but it was somebody that to me has a bit of credibility, is critical of the Trump administration, but is not some lunatic who thinks everything he does is the worst thing in the world. And I was like, there's no way he just said what I thought I heard he said. So I started Googling. And I just sat there on the side of the road like, what the hell is going on?
Well, we have a lot to get to, and I'm going to move along. Let's start with Coach Rob Haberbush. He's the head coach at Hamilton College, and he is on the line right now. Rob, good morning. Thanks so much for coming on. And before we even get into this weekend, congratulations on a great season.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Great to be here.
All right, so you going into your conference is am I correct in saying it's the semifinal this weekend?
Correct. Yeah, we do a Final Four at one site, so we're going into the semis.
Okay. All right, and of course, what follows all of this, we hope, is the NCAA tournament. So let's talk about your game this weekend.
Sure. Yeah. So we have Williams College on Saturday. We're the first seed, and they're the sixth seed. They upset Tufts, the fourth seed in the quarters. So we play them on Saturday at 1:00 up at Sage Rink.
All right, that's a 1:00 local game that you can check out. Talk about your team this year. You guys have been ranked really in the top 10 all season long.
Yeah, we have. It's been a really fun year. We've gotten great performances across the board, really at all positions, and it's been a good 2-year run for us here. We kind of picked up where we left off last year, and just hoping to keep this going.
And I know the big mistake is to look past, but look past Saturday, but, humor us for the purpose of this interview. Let's say when you get past the game on Saturday, what comes next, and where do you go for the Frozen Four?
So for the league, our Final Four is all in Hamilton. So we play at 1, and then the other 2 remaining teams in NESCAC are going to play at 4:30. So that's Bowdoin and Middlebury.
Okay.
And then the championship game will be on Sunday at 2:00. We know that.
Okay.
That's at Hamilton as well.
At Hamilton. So by the time the weekend ends, you will have named your conference champion as well.
Correct. Yes, we will.
All right. Tickets available. People can come out and watch the game. How do they get tickets? I'm assuming go to your website.
Yeah, there's instructions on our website. A lot of it is there. I don't think there are very many remaining, but I think they're going on sale at noon or 12:30 on Saturday.
Okay.
For that first semi, and then same thing for Sunday.
And is there a way that will the game be streamed?
It will, yeah. If you just go to our website, go to our schedule, and there'll be a link for a free webcast.
All right. And, of course, this, without looking too far down the road, who knows what the bracket looks like in the NCAA tournament. But there is the possibility that Utica and Hamilton could meet. Boy, will that be a game. If it does happen, what a game that will be. But obviously, both of you have to get through this weekend, and we wish you the best this weekend and hope to see you on the other side next week.
Terrific. I appreciate that, Bill. Thank you very much.
All right, Rob. Thank you. That is Hamilton College, and I believe Utica's ranked number, did you look that up? Like number 9 or 10. Hamilton, I think, might be ranked number 3 or 4 right now. They are one of the best teams in the country. And the beauty of all of this is the NCAA tournament will find its semifinals, the Frozen Four, to be played at the end of this month right here at the Adirondack Bank Center in Utica. Pretty cool. 7:24 at WIBX.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service. Family owned and operated since 1980, Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
Ready to buy an RV? Save big in March at the largest indoor RV show, the Spring New York State RV Show, March 5th through 8th at the Fairgrounds. 9 dealers, over 400 RVs. It's the place to buy. Get discounted tickets now at nysrvshow.com.
I was ordering food from our usual place for the big meeting. My VP said, "Please, God, no."
For workplaces suffering with corporate catering deficiency, every day's a struggle.
The food was always meh and over budget. Before Easy Cater, I thought that was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat CCD with a huge variety of restaurants, help meet dietary needs, and stay on budget. Use daily. One platform lets you save time and thrive. Ask your web browser about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's industry ace. Our industry aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and we'll help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
Hi, this is Ray Durso of the Genesis Group. If you're interested in keeping up with events and news in the Mohawk Valley region, I have the show for you. It's called This Week in the Mohawk Valley, and it airs every Sunday on WIBX. Join us as we talk with area business leaders, elected officials, law enforcement, educators, and more. Don't miss This Week in the Mohawk Valley every Sunday at 9 a.m. on WIBX 950 a.m. 92.3 FM.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, I'll tell you that portions of the program brought to you by River Hills Properties, and they continue to invest in upstate New York. This housing market up here is really pretty hot, and it is because there's such a shortage of housing, and we're trying to fix that. But at River Hills, they will work to put you into the right home. But if you're thinking about selling or even wondering what your home is worth, you may be very, very surprised. Call River Hills at 315-896-1009, and they'll do a free valuation of your home. And as I said, you might be surprised. Offices in Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, Copenhagen, Newport, and coming soon to Rome. And the amazing Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. That market is actually still pretty hot in Florida. And they have a full group of listing agents, including Robin Monjo and our own Andrew Dominio, who are down there doing the River Hills concept of selling homes in Florida. 315-896-1009 is the number. Manaski, Mike, and Clinton, you're just you guys are too left-wing to listen to. Listen, it's not left-wing. It is questioning your government. That's not left-wing. Maybe it is, but it's more of an American. It's how we were born. But the country was born. You just don't buy everything your government tells you. I don't care if it's a Democrat in office or it's a Republican. It doesn't matter.
Lance, I see your comments on the meeting last night. We'll get to this later this morning. But Mike, I respond. Is it Mike? I responded to Mike in the message app. I'd love his response. Like, what is your take on that?
Yeah, I wanted to say, Mike, you're the one living in Clinton. Give me a break. Sorry. All right. That's all right, Mike. That's fine.
We're talking.
Actually, Clinton has a very rural, people don't realize, the village of Clinton is quaint and Hamilton College, of course.
Just kidding. I'm just
but
kidding. It's a joke.
There's a large population outside the village.
Are we gonna have to apologize like Jack LaMedico?
I think so. Yeah. I think we will. Again, back to Tim. What am I doing here today?
Seriously, Mike, though. Armageddon, Return of Jesus, the signal fire to trigger Armageddon. Please react to that.
If you can sit here and watch these press conferences and you can say, I'm okay with this is how it should be, then it's not right-left. There's something wrong with the middle part of your brain. I'm sorry. If you can't question what's going on right now, this is effing nuts. This is crazy stuff. And we're just talking about it like it's normal. Normal is gone. This is not normal. This is not how. When I watched the Pentagon press conference yesterday, and I watch all of this stuff, the general, and I can't remember his, watching his face as Pete Hegseth goes off and talks about the massive destruction and death raining down on the, like, what are we as Americans I believe we are the strongest nation in the world. I don't believe this Canadian who says we're going to lose this war. However, could we get caught up in another never-ending war? Yeah, I think we have a history of being able to do that, and especially when dealing with the Middle East. But I just look at as America is the strongest nation by far, it seems, militarily in the world. Traditionally, our strength is shown with dignity. We don't have to throw it in someone's face. If you're the strongest person on the block, do you have to tell everybody you're the strongest? People just know. Everyone just knows. But to stand up and brag about it and talk about raining terror on the deviant Iranian religious cult, and I mean, what am I? This is like a WWE press conference. Like, Davey now watches the Pentagon press conference. He's never watched this in his life, but he feels like it has the same feel as a WWE event.
It's the Thursday Night SmackDown edition.
It's like SmackDown.
And
if you can look at this and say we're like left wingers because we're questioning it, if you can look at it and you think this is okay, man, you need to stop watching TV and begin looking into the mirror, because something ain't right. You're not clicking on all cylinders here.
Smitty, do you still have a collection of Pocket Jesus in there? The Pocket Jesus 2.2-4.
Yes, I do.
Okay, can I have one? I think I need it.
Yeah, you might need it.
What'd you say?
Can I have one of them?
Sure.
I need to carry one around with me.
Sure.
Today.
Do you want to add anything or subtract anything?
Why am I here?
That I've been declared left wing. I don't know if I've ever admitted. My first election, I voted for Richard Nixon.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Well, it doesn't matter now. You're either all. It doesn't matter.
I've changed.
You could have voted
My brain
for,
is.
You could vote Republican your entire life, and if you're not in on this current action, then you're woke.
The one thing I'll say is, and I truly do hope that a regime takes place that is more friendly to the United States than what we have today. I mean, I will give the president props. He said, what could happen is we could end up with a government there that's worse than the one we started with.
Yes.
And I'm very concerned about.
Well, now you have the Khomeini's son, who has now been anointed the next, who, by the way, is more hardline than the other options, and certainly just as much as Dad, but less cleric, less religion, but more hardline.
The thing I'm concerned about is that in general, air campaigns alone do not usually shift things over. The only time it's happened was in Serbia. Yeah. So somehow,
and we talked about this when this first started, that you just look through history, and it just can't happen without boots on the ground.
Right. Well, I just hope that the general public there, whatever it is, stands up against this and says we'd rather have a more secular and be better neighbors in the Middle East than we've been.
Yeah.
But
you imagine what, if people here are saying that, people in this country question are woke, can you imagine what the clerics think of the student population in Iran? Talk about woke. I mean, they're throwing acid on their faces if they show too much of their hair. Yeah. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. We're not fighting a normal warrior. It's not like we're going against something with tradition here. It isn't even like if we were to be at war with Russia. It's a completely different thing here. Right. These people are different.
Big Honey, 250 years ago, we started building the most powerful nation in the world, all from Christian values.
Not true. Not true.
Even if I granted that, though, what does that have to do with Armageddon?
Your forefathers are the people who created this country specifically to protect all religions, not Christianity.
Well, no, but he's saying it was.
I understand
built off
the
the
values.
principles.
And those same principles could be drawn off every religion. But I understand. But specifically, it's a freedom of religion and a separation.
I don't think he's making the case for.
It does not make the case for what's going on right now.
Yeah, I don't think Big Honey
Never
understood
before
the
in our
question.
history have we seen this.
Why he said? Why is it so hard to believe we can't maintain it with the same values?
If that was what was going on, if we could maintain it with the same values, I'd be all in. But that's not what's happening now. Open your eyes. It's not what's happening. I have to break, and let me bring Wayne in before we do that because he wants to talk about Iran. He's all in on this. He's really upset about the Iranian war. He is fuming.
Wayne's calling to know if we have change for a 20 so he can drop a couple bucks to the guy on the corner.
Oh, yeah.
No, Wayne is still on the umpire thing from the other day. Good morning,
Oh,
Wayne.
go ahead.
Bill, I actually think that you're right with this whole war thing. I think that they're looking at, which he probably is, they're looking at him like he's Satan.
Yeah.
They're like they're afraid. A lot of them are afraid because they're looking at him like South Park shows Satan. It's crazy.
Oh, so you've watched South Park? Oh Lord.
Here and there, but I can't stand it. But
That's
I
awful.
watch a little bit of it
It's
here
bad.
and there.
All right. Beyond that, let's talk about something we really hate, and that's umpires. Well, not really.
Yeah. Well, I just think that the problem with it is that everybody up in the stands is looking down into what's going on, and a lot of times, not that they have a better or a different view of what's going on than being right on the floor level with it. Like Jeff said, there's somebody blocking them out. There's somebody doing something else where you can't see everything all at once, and everybody up in the stands sees a lot more, and they're complaining because they're seeing more than what the ref is seeing, and they're like, what the hell's wrong with them? It's like nothing's wrong. You just can't see everything going on all at once.
Well, and you forget about the fact that the umpire is right on top of it, who probably has the best vantage point. And there may be somebody on the first base side that may have a better view on an individual play, but at the end of the day, don't we just have to trust and understand there will be a mistake here or there? I mean, am I wrong, Jeff?
And it's their job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's their job. It's not your job. It's literally their job. So let them do it.
The problem is we are in a world where we don't want to see our kids upset. And if they lose that championship game, they're going to be upset. And God forbid if it happened on a bad call, then somebody's got to hang. And I really think that the mentality, that's the mentality we have. I mean, you cannot allow the kids to be upset.
My child is the chosen one.
Yeah. That's right. That's exactly
everybody
right.
thinks their child is the best.
Yes.
He was born to bring about Armageddon
Full
on
circle.
the baseball diamond.
Full circle.
Bill,
Thou
I got
shalt
friends
not
like
bunt.
that.
Thou shalt not steal.
Yes, Wayne.
I got a friend like that that's got a couple kids, and they believe that they're definitely major league material. Now, these kids are anywhere between 5 and 14.
Yeah.
They think they're major league material. They think they're NBA material. And it's like, well, you know what? They don't understand how elite that you have to be in order to get to that stage, you know?
Yeah.
Listen, kids can make it. There's a kid from Proctor. I'm going to forget his name right now. The Utica City Council awarded him something. I think last year, Legion Ball, I was told the kid was topping out at 92 miles an hour.
But you almost, when you see a kid like a Lemke, like a, what's his name from New Hartford that became Andy Van Slyke. I mean, when you see these guys who are local and then they go on,
they're lightning in a bottle.
You kind of know you've got something special when you're watching. Yeah.
Super special.
All right, Wayne. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Later, guys. Have a good day.
I got a great free money question. It's worth $250. We will do that next. Davey, you're looking for caller number what? And then we'll talk with this congressional candidate, John Leip, in the 119th seat currently held by Marianne Buttonshaw. Davey, you're looking for caller number 5.
Josh Martinez was his name. I'm sorry.
315-736-0186. It's Opika's free money question of the day. $250 this morning. Caller 5 right now. We'll do it next on WIBX.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROAD to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hurt in a car? Call William Mattar. 315-444-4444.
Don't overpay for your next mattress. Mattress Express is upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. Bring in any locally advertised price on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or go to mattressexpressny.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Veterans, you and your family know all too well the many hardships that challenge your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. The Good News Foundation invites you to a free fellowship group of veterans. This get-together is run by retired Army Chief Warrant Officer 4 Richard Smith, the author of Camouflage Christian. Check out Veterans for Worship the third Wednesday of the month from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
Our Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Representative John Mannion are standing up for radio listeners like us by supporting legislation to keep AM radio in cars. They know the value of local radio in times of emergency. Now it's time for Congress to finish the job and pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Learn more at dependonam.com. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Portion of the program brought to you by the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. You know they're accepting new patients. It is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. And I don't know, do we know anyone in the room who's recently had the osteopathic manipulation treatment?
That would be me.
Did you, what do you think?
It works.
It really loosens everything up, right?
It loosens everything up.
It's crazy.
I felt like Gumby.
Yeah.
I was done.
I'm not sure.
I better get in there.
I'm not sure that's what they're going for.
No.
Yeah. Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Molesky, now Dr. Cheryl Mattern of Sequoia has joined the Falcon Clinic along with Dr. Kosminski, all under one roof. Whether it's a second opinion, you need a new family doctor, or you want to try this OMT treatment, which I think is spectacular. Yes. Once a month, It is the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Time for Hobica's free money question of the day. And John is our contestant here this morning. Good morning, John. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Is this radio, John?
Pardon me? No.
Oh, this is just John. Everybody has a nickname around here. What do we call him?
That's my name.
Okay, use John. So this is just John. Just John.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, John, you know the way this works. We'll give you 7 seconds to answer the question. Get your answer in, pick an answer, commit to it, and you could walk away with $250. The other thing is we have from Shipwright office in South Utica, we have tickets to Saturday night's Pioneers Geneseo game at the Adirondack Bank Center. I'll let you work it out with Davey if you can use those tickets, and a family 4-pack of the tickets to the Big East Camping Show, March 21st and 22nd at Accelerate Sports in Whitesboro. All of that along with a chance at $250. Are you ready?
Okay.
Here is your question. Name this. America's oldest active indoor on-campus college hockey rink is located where? Ready, go.
Hamilton.
You're going to go with, is it located in Hamilton? You got to clarify your answer for me.
The Utica, the one in Clinton.
Okay, Clinton. All right, you're going to go with, so the answer would be Clinton, that you're committing to.
Right. Hamilton College in Clinton.
Not Colgate, which is Hamilton, New York. This is Clinton. Is right. That's right, John. America's oldest active indoor on-campus college hockey rink. We just talked to the coach. It opened in 1921. How many people can that rink fit, Tim Reed?
600-ish.
600-ish. Opened in 1921. John, congratulations. It's $250 plus all the other stuff you get as well.
Thank you.
All right. You stand by.
That'll buy you a book at Hamilton.
You know, I could have been a real a-hole and been like, no.
I saw where you were going.
Not in Hamilton. It's in Clinton. But I couldn't do that. Wait a minute, from Hobica. You should have. Oh, come on. Stop being a baby.
He's from Hamilton.
Yeah, that's right. He's a grad.
He can give.
Yeah. Okay, in studio right now is John Leip. John is a candidate for the 119th Assembly seat. He is one of 2 Democratic candidates that are running for Marianne Buttonshawn's seat. And, John, good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Tell us about you.
All right. Well, first of all, I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate correctly pronouncing my last name. I remember several years ago when Anthony Brindisi was running for Congress, he was on your show like the week he announced, and you did him a favor and clarified for everyone once and for all how to pronounce his last name.
That was a problem because you had people, I think, purposely mispronouncing the name.
Yeah, people would emphasize Brindisi and then
Brindisi.
Yeah, and you clarified it was Brindisi. Yep. So I appreciate you doing the same thing for me.
All right. What do they call you other than Leip? L-I-P-E. I wouldn't know.
Lippy?
Yeah,
Lippy?
I get a lot of Lippy. A lot of sometimes.
Don't get lippy with me.
Yeah, my mother used to call me that.
People try to make it more fancy than it actually is.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I was born in Rome. I grew up in Floyd. My dad was a union president in Rome at AFGE, and I went to when I went to college, I got the chance to intern for Congressman Sherry Boehlert when he was still in office. And since then, I worked for Anthony Brindisi for a number of years. I worked for him when he was in the Assembly, and then I worked for him when he was in Congress as a legislative aide down in D.C. And then for the past year, I worked for Congressman John Mannion as his outreach representative for Oneida County.
So Marianne Buttonshawn, of course, has decided not to run for re-election. Your thoughts on what kind of representative would you be? What will you do for the area?
Yeah, I think my models of what I would want to do in the Assembly are folks like Sherry Boehlert, Anthony Brindisi, Marianne Buttonshawn. I think people like that have shown that the way you get things done is by working with Democrats and Republicans alike. I think it's important that our area has a voice in the majority, but I think it's also important that we have a lot of Republicans in office representing Central New York. And I think you just got to focus on the local issues and do what you can to bring resources back to the district.
Can I throw a few issues out at you?
Sure.
Bail reform, where we are now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was at a couple weeks ago. Rob Mashel had his announcement that he was running for re-election, and I've heard him speak on the topic a number of times, where he talks about the goal of bail reform. People shouldn't be locked up for shoplifting a candy bar or something like that. Like, that's a noble goal, but the way it's actually implemented and the way our local law enforcement have to deal with it, that obviously is not working. So I think the sheriff makes a lot of sense on that. And so I'd be looking to our local law enforcement folks for guidance on how we can be changing that to make it a little more efficient. So you think
we should reform the current reform?
Yeah, I think if you look at the local law enforcement and what they're saying, that it's not working to keep violent offenders off the streets. Like, it's not doing its job.
What about the jail situation? They're again back to a lot of decisions made in Albany, and the people on the ground are saying you've put us in a really difficult position.
Yeah, when you saw the Wildcat strike last year, it was like, this is a 5-alarm fire that I don't think the people in Albany are taking seriously enough. And it really, it annoys everybody here. I knew it annoyed Marianne Buttonshaw for sure when you have folks from New York City who are popping off about, oh yes, we should close Marcy Correctional, we should do this or that. Like, you people don't live here. You don't understand the kind of jobs it provides for the area. You don't understand how important this kind of thing is to our community. And the people that we all know who have to work inside there and the horrible conditions, I mean, it's dehumanizing both for the prisoners and for the COs that they have to deal with this. So it should be a 5-alarm fire when you see a Wildcat strike like that, but I don't think the people in Albany are taking it seriously enough.
There is a mandate in New York right now for school buses and large machinery like a Mack truck right next door to us, Utica Mack, that once this, I believe there's a moratorium that's been placed on it, but once that expires, people are going to be expected to buy electric vehicles. School districts are going to have I think by 2035, an entire 100% electric fleet of school buses. Where do you stand on this?
Yeah, I encourage anybody who has questions about this to actually go to a school board meeting. They're open to the public. They happen every month. Go to your school board meeting. Talk to the people on your school board. Talk to your school superintendent. And they'll tell you that they look at the math and that even if they agree with the overall goal of the policy, it would be wonderful if we had a fleet of buses that could work this way. But you got to look at the numbers. You got to look at what the schools can actually afford and what kind of help they're getting from the state. Because if you ask your superintendents around here, they're going to tell you that these numbers don't add up and this isn't something that the schools can do right away. So maybe this is a noble goal. Maybe this is something we can achieve at some point. But the schools are already getting hit 6 different ways. I mean, look at health insurance premiums that are going up for people who work in the school district.
Yeah.
And those kind of things, increases the property tax levy and changes a lot of things in our school districts. So you have to be able to work with your local school board.
Speaking with John Leip, he is a candidate for the 119th, and it's a seat that is currently held by Marianne Buttonshaw. One more, and I'll let these guys bop in. But right now, the governor has proposed, and it's happening, mandating by, I believe, 2027, I think that's the year, pre-K for all school districts. It has to be offered to the parents. It's not mandated. However, it's mandated for the schools. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I've got a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old at home. And when we were trying to find daycare for our 4-year-old, back when he was about 5-6 months old, what I had to do is I reached out to the governor's office and got a list of every registered daycare provider in 3 counties, Oneida County, Herkimer County, Madison County. And I had some time, so I started at the A's, and I started calling through, and it wasn't until I hit the S's that I found someone with an opening. In fact, they need special training and they need more staff for, state regulations for kids who are under 2 to be able to provide daycare services for them. And so I'd ask them, like, do you have a wait list? And these people would tell me, oh, yeah, we have a wait list. Well, how long is the wait list? About 2.5 years. So if you want daycare for your kid who's under 2, it's a 2.5-year wait.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of demand for these kind of daycare services out there, and I think we really need to expand it. Because if we want to attract young people to the area, keep young people here, and if they want to join the workforce, if they have the skills that they need and they want to join the workforce after having a kid, then we need to have these daycare options for them.
Well, this would not be daycare. This would be pre-K. So what are your thoughts on mandating pre-K for school districts?
I think it comes down to if it's an unfunded mandate for our schools. So
which
again,
I believe right now it looks pretty unfunded.
Yeah.
The other problem is adding if you add pre-K, you're going to have the daycare union complaining because they just lost an entire year of students. That could be an issue. And the other part of this is parents, maybe 1 year, a school district might have 75 students participating. The next year, they might have 150 students participating because you can opt in. The parents can opt in and opt out. The school district must provide. So now you got to find the space. You got to find the teachers. You got something to look into.
Yeah, and I am more inclined that if we're going to be spending money on something like this, to have some built-in flexibility for it. So whether the money is going to the schools or whether the money is going to daycare providers out in the community, like we use a community daycare, at-home daycare for our kid, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I think if you have some built-in flexibility there, you can get some more mileage.
Doug and Lee with a question for you. Hi, Doug. Go ahead. You're on.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. John, question for you. What is the current New York State budget?
I know the governor is proposing about $250 billion.
$260 billion. Do you know what 50% of that budget is?
What is it, John?
Medicaid.
Medicaid.
Yeah.
Medicaid is one of the largest costs to New York State taxpayers. What do you propose to do when you get in there, if you get in there, to lower the cost of Medicaid?
All right, Doug, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna hang up and let John answer that. All right.
Yeah.
Let me finish one more thing on that, Bill.
Time is ticking. Go ahead.
Okay. As far as that, the Medicaid cost goes, the Empire Center has estimated that 5.5 million people qualify for Medicaid, yet over 8 million are receiving it. Now, whether those are legals or illegals,
Let's try to keep it into a question that he can answer in the next 30 seconds. Doug, I'm hanging up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so right now, one of the biggest challenges we're having with Medicaid is we have these Medicaid cuts that are coming from the federal government, which, if anything, is just going to increase the share that the state's going to have to pay to make sure that people are getting the services that they need. Like, we don't want people who today would be eligible for Medicaid, but then show up in the emergency room a year from now, but all of a sudden they didn't fill out the paperwork correctly, they're homeless, haven't done that, and then the hospitals and our healthcare systems get hit with those costs. But I think the number one thing you can do to reduce costs for Medicaid is outreach to people to make sure they're getting the preventive care that they need. Because you'd rather have people go to a standard doctor beforehand and catch these problems early rather than waiting until they're going to the emergency room and then it's costing us millions of dollars.
And Doug, I apologize. We are out of time, but we'll do this again.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, John Leip. News is next.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Iran is targeting Israel today over and over. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Just moments ago, missiles were soaring through the skies of Israel. We watched here as air defense systems were shooting down the incoming fire.
Fox's Trey Yingst has a front row seat to the war in Tel Aviv.
This was the fifth round of incoming Iranian missiles since the middle of the night, sending the population here into bomb shelters.
Iran has also been going after neighboring countries. There have been U.S. facilities there, like Qatar, again targeted. As Iran's foreign minister warned on social media, the U.S. will bitterly regret sinking a warship in international waters with a torpedo. And as the U.S. and Israel keep attacking Iran,
we're doing very well on the war front, to put it mildly, I would say. Somebody said, on a scale of 10, where would you rate it? I said about a 15.
President Trump has conceded the U.S. military is being used a little bit more than he expected when he returned to office for his second term. But he says Operation Epic Fury is going so well because in strike after strike, multiple layers of regime leadership are being killed to the point where every time there's a leader that comes up and wants to sort of take control, that person ends up dead.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House, concerned about fuel shipping being halted in the region as oil prices rising. Here in the U.S., the price of the gas pump has surged up 26 cents in 3 days. Democrats keep trying to limit the president in Iran, pushing a war powers resolution.
Our founders did not want to place the immense power over whether or not to go to war in the hands of just one individual.
But Senator Gary Peters and the Democrats lost. Republicans blocked the resolution. Senator Tim Sheehy tells Fox.
This is no question Iran started this conflict. We are going to finish it, and all Americans should be happy about that.
Today, the House will vote on the resolution. Congress will also vote on Homeland Security funding, which Democrats have blocked for nearly 3 weeks, demanding immigration enforcement reforms. America's listening to Fox News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
2 more members of Congress are not running for re-election.
Serving the people of Montana in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate the past 13 years has been the greatest honor of my professional career.
That's Republican Senator Steve Daines. Also not seeking a new term, Congressman Burgess Owens.
All 4 Utah House seats are held by Republicans, but a new map is making one of those districts lean more Democrat. So Owens sticking around could have meant a member-on-member primary for one of the others. He's the 53rd member of the House not seeking re-election this year, 32 of them Republicans. Owens leaving also means there will likely be no black Republicans in the House next year. The other 3 decided to run for governor or Senate.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. Meanwhile, President Trump is planning to soon decide who he prefers in a close Republican Senate contest in Texas, after Tuesday's primary led to a May runoff between incumbent GOP Senator John Cornyn and State Attorney General Ken Paxton.
He says he'll actually soon pick a candidate to endorse, and the president's calling on whomever he doesn't pick to please just drop out. Now, the 2 runoff foes are separated by less than 2% of the vote. Should make for a very interesting battle yet to come.
That's Fox's Kevin Corke, a House Republican, also facing a runoff in Texas, caught in controversy.
During a Wednesday appearance on the Joe Pag Show, Congressman Tony Gonzalez admitted to having an affair with his aide, Regina Santos Avilas. After months of denying it, he called the affair a lapse in judgment and a mistake. She died by suicide last fall. The House Ethics Committee is launching an investigative subcommittee on Gonzalez in response to allegations he engaged in sexual misconduct towards an individual employed in his congressional office. In Tuesday's Republican primary, Gonzalez was forced into a May runoff against challenger Brandon Herrera. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are falling, down more than 200 points for the Dow. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies and 33 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. This news update is brought to you by Wendy's new Girl Scout Cookie Thin Mint Frosty Fusion. Try Wendy's new Girl Scout Thin Mint Frosty Fusion with Girl Scout Thin Mint Cookie Pieces. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's and Girl Scouts of the USA. Utica Councilman Jack Lemetico is apologizing for an insensitive remark he recently made about firefighter turnout gear and the potential risk associated with so-called forever chemicals that can impact the health of those first responders. When discussing new turnout gear for the UFD that does not include the chemical, Lemetico retorted, "Isn't that what you get hazard pay for?" Lemetico apologized for that comment in front of a crowded city council meeting last night. Many of those in attendance were Utica Fire Department members and their families. And as a point of clarification, the Utica Fire Department does not and never has received hazard pay. Local authorities investigating a bank robbery that occurred on Wednesday morning in New Hartford. It happened around 10 a.m. at NBT Bank on Seneca Turnpike. Police officials say the suspect threatened to use a weapon but did not display one. No one was injured. No word on how much cash was taken in the robbery. Officials in Syracuse are getting ready to demolish the former Great Northern Mall. Work is underway to begin demolition there. Most of the former shopping center will be torn down later this month once power is shut off and the town issues the required permits. Now, the developer there who purchased the property says he wants to turn it into a large residential, retail, and medical complex. Everything would be removed with the exception of the former Dick's Sporting Goods stores. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 8:08. Here is a look at your Weather Center forecast.
March, a month of transition, and we'll transition again today with a winter weather advisory in effect. That's going to be all of Oneida County and south and east again, as freezing rain could be a problem. We'll roll through today, clouds will thicken up, and we may see a little bit of rain, could mix with some sleet or snow later. That chance is going to be probably this afternoon through this evening, 38, so well above freezing. Tonight, right near freezing, so that means all the meteorological wintry weather, some snow, sleet, freezing rain, making for some slick streets and spots. Most of that precip should end early tomorrow, mostly clouded in the afternoon, 38. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stejik, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies and 33 degrees at 8:08. All right, in sports, former Notre Dame football coach Lou Holtz has passed. He was 89 years old. Notre Dame Athletics said in a post on X that Holtz died in Orlando, Florida, surrounded by family. He entered hospice care sometime in January. The College Football Hall of Fame member earned a national title while coaching the Fighting Irish from 1986 to 1996. He also coached at William & Mary, NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, South Carolina, and for one season in the NFL with the New York Jets. He later went on to become a college football analyst with ESPN. Some NFL news: the Patriots parting ways with their top target from last season. Wide receiver Stephon Diggs will be released at the start of the 2026 league year, which begins next week. Aaron Rodgers still uncertain on where he'll play or whether he'll play next season. That's according to the future Hall of Famer, who told the Pat McAfee Show on Wednesday there's no deadline to make a decision. The 42-year-old spent last season with the Steelers and threw 24 touchdowns to go along with 7 picks. Pittsburgh hired Mike McCarthy as head coach, who worked with Rodgers when they were both in Green Bay. The Giants will be starting the preseason in an unfamiliar place this summer. Big Blue will likely hold the first 2 weeks of training camp at the Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia. MetLife Stadium will be used for the World Cup games, and there's also ongoing construction at the team's facility in East Rutherford. The Jets are showing some interest in a pair of veteran quarterbacks, among them Tua Tagovailoa. ESPN says the Jets are also interested in pursuing Kyler Murray. Both quarterbacks are currently under contract, but will likely be released by the start of the new league year, again, which begins next week. NBA action: the Knicks could not contain the defending champions as they lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder 103-100 at MSG last night. Karl Anthony Towns had 17 points and 17 rebounds. The Nets will visit the Heat tonight in a rematch of Tuesday night's contest that saw Brooklyn blown out in that game. College hoops: Syracuse will play on Saturday as they wrap up the regular season. Their opponent is Pittsburgh, and the Utica Pioneers men's hockey team hosting the UCHC Conference Championship game on Saturday night at 7 o'clock at the Adirondack Bank Center. And be listening, we still have tickets to give away for that game coming up. That is brought to you by Shipwright.
And Hamilton plays Saturday at 1 o'clock. And their semifinals are in Hamilton this weekend. The championship game will be held on Sunday at 2 p.m. Coming up, we'll talk about Childcare. It's something we got into with John Leip. Kelly Owens is in. Later on, John Decker, Chief White House Correspondent with Great TV. He was in the middle of that White House press conference yesterday that was very much like a WWE type event. I kind of feel like it's a must-see. And you don't have to pay to view. It's all free. Just if you've got the feed, you can watch it. John Decker coming up in a few. Stand by at WIBX.
Ready to buy an RV? Save big in March at the largest indoor RV show, the Spring New York State RV Show, March 5th through 8th at the Fairgrounds. 9 dealers, over 400 RVs. It's the place to buy. Get discounted tickets now at nysrvshow.com.
At Community Memorial, we have one goal:
to help you get better, like better emergency services with our new ER in Hamilton. And for sudden minor injuries and illnesses, we offer convenient walk-in clinics for fast, same-day care. There's now better access to orthopedic care from our world-class specialists, the latest advanced robotic technology, and walk-in clinics in New Hartford, Cazenovia, and Hamilton. We now offer quicker access to breast biopsies and colonoscopies because faster is better. And better community care with in-house surgical and rehab teams in Hamilton and 6 regional primary care offices. Plus, get access to better diagnostics with the latest MRI and CT imaging. Better. That's our commitment throughout the entire CMH healthcare system, providing better experiences with better services to support better outcomes. Learn more at communitymemorial.org and get better at CMH in Hamilton.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROAD to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It's time for a Utica tradition, America's greatest heart run and walk on March 7th. And on March 6th, it's the 55th anniversary of the WIBX Heart Radiothon. Sponsored by the Slocum-Dixon Medical Group this year, the Radiothon started when local runners honored the passing of WIBX personality Ralph Ellinger. They ran for 18 miles and raised money for the American Heart Association. Celebrate with us on March 6th. Hear from Slocum-Dixon doctors about ways to be healthy. Cheer on participants in the treadmill challenge and help fight heart disease.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, I want to just give you an opportunity, Davey, if you can. Whether you need 3 tickets or 2 tickets for Saturday night, Pioneers will play Geneseo at the Adirondack Bank Center for the UCHC Championship, and we have tickets from Shipwright Office and Printing, 1926 Genesee Street in Utica. They do all your printing. Everything is, there's not a job that's too big or too small. Everything from brochures and menus and business cards to school items, business logoed items, signs and trade show items, stickers, I don't know why I keep saying items, T-shirts, mugs, sports jerseys, and so much more.
Like other items.
And items that you could ship. You could ship items.
Right.
They'll package them and ship them anywhere in the world at competitive prices. It's Shipwright Office, 1926 Genesee Street in Utica. And Davey, either a 3-pack or a 2-pack of tickets for Saturday night's game. You'll want caller number what? How about caller 3? All right. Third caller right now at 315-736-0186. In studio right now, along with Tim Reed is here with me and Jeff this morning. And we add Kelly Owens into the mix. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
So let's see. Where do we begin? You currently hold the position of...
So I'm the executive director at the New York State Office for the Prevention of Domestic Violence, which is a state agency that oversees our response to domestic and gender-based violence.
Still a big problem And it's not a problem that's going away.
It's not a problem that's going away. Yeah. And it's, it's taken on a lot of different dynamics.
Yeah.
And the tools that abusers use and
electronics today.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It is huge.
Yeah.
It's in about 99% of the cases that we see around domestic violence.
I had someone who recently reached out and asked me a technical question. And he, in this case, said, I was in a conversation with my significant other, his wife, and at some point after about a 5-minute phone call, he heard the words, "This call is no longer being recorded." Mm-hmm. And he said, I don't know how that could be, because if she was recording my call, it would have warned me in the beginning. That is, unless you use a third-party app, and sometimes a mistake can be made. There are things that can be placed on people's phones.
Sure.
You wouldn't even know, and you're being followed every move you make. I have a feeling in this case, he was being tracked by his wife.
Yeah. Your phone has become a very powerful tool to
everywhere. You take it everywhere.
To control, under control, and what we're seeing among youth is very, very disturbing around technology-facilitated abuse and the use of AI and all of those things to really, one of the biggest areas that we're seeing people affected is those boys from 13 to 21, around sextortion, and the abuse that's happening online is rampant.
Used to be you would spread a rumor about someone to get back at them. Not that I would ever do that, but that's one of the tools that was used. Today they have so much. I mean,
and it doesn't go away.
You can create a nude photo and spread it around. It's not even real,
and it doesn't go away.
Yeah,
it's there forever.
Yeah.
And it's a problem that we really have got. My agency is really looking at how do we address it, specifically around technology-facilitated abuse in the gender-based violence area. I mean, the governor's done a lot of work in regards to cell phone use and AI and all that kind of stuff, which, it's really affecting people.
Yeah.
And it's affecting the way we interact with one another.
It is.
It really does.
Yeah.
I have a hard time connecting with people the way we used to connect.
Yes.
Now
over vodka usually.
Yeah. Well, you drank vodka.
You sat there and watched me drink vodka. So, if those who don't know, you and I worked together on a couple of campaigns over the years and became friends on a very difficult campaign.
Yes.
It's a wonder that campaign didn't kill both of us, but we survived.
We did.
And
we live on.
We live on, and we made it through to the other side.
We live on.
The other area that I know that you want to talk about today is childcare.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, we were speaking with the candidate for the 119th, John Leip, who is in a primary. That's a loaded race. That's a big assembly. Is very interesting, but when you get a seat that covers Utica and Rome, that Marion Buttonshaw seat is an important seat.
It is an important
Roanne
seat. It's always been an important
Anthony
seat.
Brindisi.
And, not that I want to get into politics, but Oneida County and in the Mohawk Valley has always been very unique in the way that it approaches politics. Like we have, and I think that's probably what we're missing in the country right now. Once the elections were over, it didn't matter what party you worked in here.
I know.
You worked together.
Yeah.
And I miss that.
We got B, but you know what? Now we got to go to work.
I mean,
we won. Now we got to go to work.
And everybody worked for the best of the community.
Yeah.
And I hope that continues here. And
I do think that still is the case. If we could apply our local and regional politics to national, I think we'd be much better off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I've been in this business a long time, and where we are now is
it's pretty scary.
I don't know.
I don't know either, and I don't know I don't know what comes on the other side.
What I do know is I'm exhausted.
It is exhausted.
Yeah.
Childcare.
Yep.
So the minute you add the word universal, all of a sudden it becomes a political issue.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about it. And it is tough for a young parent. You have a young child. You could be spending a lot of money when you don't make a lot of money, sometimes it's not cost effective to even work.
Yep. So, childcare in New York is incredibly expensive. And if you're in a rural area, it's almost hard to find.
Yeah.
And we've been looking at this issue at the state level for many, many years and working with a really good task force to figure out how do we move the needle around childcare. And I also want to bring up that childcare isn't just a family issue, right? It's an economic development issue.
Yeah.
If you don't have childcare infrastructure in your community and you're trying to bring a company in, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah,
And I think we start to talk about that, but when it really talks about how do we build that infrastructure, that's where the rubber has to meet the road. And I think that's part of where the governor's going with her universal child care initiative is how do we meet the needs of families in a way that's affordable, and we build an infrastructure that brings business to our area. I mean, we wouldn't look at bringing a business here if we didn't have the water infrastructure, right? And that's a big shift from the way that society thinks about it.
I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, like the Oneida Nation, I think they have a program there that helps parents with childcare. There are some companies that take the lead on this because they have to. But now you have Chobani coming and expect a lot of people. And the question is going to be, do we have housing? But the other big issue is bringing people in. If you live in your community, that's why I've always said if you're, moving away is wonderful. But when you move to a city and you don't have any family there, you're paying for health care. You can't call up grandma and switch between the two grandmothers. That's why sometimes it is nice to stay home. But beyond that, we're looking to bring people from out of town here, which means their only way of both sides working is if there's childcare.
Yep.
Affordable childcare.
Affordable childcare, and there's many different options of childcare. Tim and I were talking before we started. There's that shift worker that the traditional model isn't going to work for, and then there's the folks who maybe don't want that kind of a institutional setting for their kids. So part of the governor's plan is to really work with counties and communities to figure out what do we need to do in your community to build this up that's unique for you. Universal childcare, and it sets a limit on how much somebody can pay for childcare. So it makes it affordable. It's something that, North Carolina has a great private-public partnership model where they work with companies, and companies supplement, and the state supplements the child care, and they build a building, and they do that kind of work.
Are we looking for the solution right now?
We are.
Okay.
The whole plan that the governor has put out around child care includes many components of it and many different options. I know that you guys were talking about the options for parents. Well, everybody's going to have the option, and the community is going to have the option to figure out how they're going to build that child care infrastructure.
You guys,
Kelly, the other thing is the reality is that there just is not enough legal child care. So parents are probably having to make decisions going to child care that may be what I would say less than ideal.
Yep.
You know?
I agree. I agree with that, Tim. I think, and that's why the different models are important, and the different models that we look at. And one of the initiatives in the governor's budget this year is about how to increase capital funding for family-based childcare as well as institutional-based childcare, so that we're putting resources into the community where family-based childcare, that means somebody runs it out of their home,
right?
And they can build out their infrastructure. And it also allows for communities to really look at whether or not those models work and what should those models look like as we build out childcare. It is a unique thing for the state to take on and to really invest in.
I'll never forget when I was working in Providence. We needed a daycare for my son, and I was I worked in radio, so getting out at 10 o'clock in the morning and having the ocean like 20 minutes away was pretty cool. Nonetheless, my son was in daycare. It was my job to go pick him up, and I was walking down the street, coming upon the place where we had just started for childcare. and they were on a second floor. So it was that 2-story house, probably a 2-family house, where there's a giant porch in the front on both levels. And she used that porch on the second level, the babysitter, the childcare person, as kind of a play area for the kids. And she had like 6 kids. And I saw her sitting there in her chair reading her book, and a nice, really nice little kids' plastic picnic table that my son was on top of, jumping up and down right at the edge over top of the railing. At any point, he could have fallen.
So he's like you.
Just like me, yeah. Needless to say, this was the last time we went there. Safety is a big problem.
Right, which is why there's a need for regulation.
But you don't want to. But you don't want to dissuade people from wanting to become
right.
daycare.
It's a fine line that we have to reach, right? And I do think that as we look at different models and different regulations that restrict, I think we're going to come up with a much better model that we have that allows people to some options that they're comfortable with.
Right.
Yeah. So I childcare is my kids were in childcare at the neighborhood center in Citron, and they had great experiences, right? Yep. But there's not enough of that,
right?
And back to the fact that
and you had a decent job.
I did,
and affordability was not the issue. But for some people, when childcare is almost equivalent to what you're making or taking home,
if you're a low income person and you don't have a car and you got to get your kid to childcare and then to a job, there's a lot of things that from an affordability standpoint that the governor's trying to deal with.
Okay, so this is basically in the study mode at this point.
Well, no, there's pilots across the state. Oneida County is not one of them, but Monroe, Binghamton area. There's some pilots around that. The city is more accelerated, but it's going to be a process. And the governor's making a huge investment.
All right. I'm going to take a quick break and we'll come back and you'll hang for a little bit?
I'll hang.
All right. Kelly Owens is with us. You worked in Paseni's office.
Well, I worked for I worked
in several offices here.
I worked for Sherry Bollert. I worked for Ray Meyer. I worked for Ray Meyer both at the county and at the Senate. I never worked for Tony.
You didn't? Okay.
But we worked together.
Got it.
Yeah.
Something that still exists, I believe, in local level politics.
Yes.
We hope. Quick break. We'll come right back. Manaski updates the news coming right up at WIBX.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
I was ordering food from our usual place for the big meeting. My VP said, "Please God, no."
For workplaces suffering with corporate catering deficiency, every day's a struggle.
The food was always meh and over budget. Before Easy Cater, I thought that was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat CCD with a huge variety of restaurants, help meet dietary needs, and stay on budget. Use daily. One platform lets you save time and thrive. Ask your web browser about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
Looking for an insurance agency that treats you like family? Look no further than WB Payne Insurance, a family-owned and operated agency serving the community for over 65 years. At WB Payne Insurance, they understand that family comes first, and they're here to protect what matters most to you. Whether it's your home, your car, or your business, they've got you covered. WB Payne Insurance. Learn more or get a quote today by visiting WBPayneco.com. WB Payne Insurance, protecting your family like it's their own, with smart solutions to save you money.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York. With 7 schools, 3,100 students, and holding a 92% graduation rate, you can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Perfect for retirees with extra time. Help drive our future leaders with Whitesboro Central School Transportation. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Mostly cloudy skies, 34 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:32. A war powers resolution has failed in the Senate as Operation Epic Fury continues. Wednesday's vote was related to the 1973 War Powers Act, a Vietnam War-era resolution meant to check the president's power to enter armed conflict without consent from the legislative branch. The White House says American boots on the ground in Iran are not part of the plan at this time. With military operations continuing, Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt announced yesterday that the president will preside over the dignified transfer of the 6 American soldiers killed in the conflict so far. It appears that President Trump is planning to ask the Texas Republican Senate candidate that does not get his endorsement to drop out of the race.
He has asked, he has already done that. He said, I'll give an endorsement, and I expect the person I don't endorse to get out.
His comments come after the party's Senate primary between Attorney General Ken Paxton and Senator John Cornyn went to a runoff on Tuesday. Trump held off on endorsing in the primary, but he announced Wednesday that he will throw his weight behind the race soon. A newly released report on child sexual abuse in the Catholic Diocese of Providence, Rhode Island, details the alleged abuse and systemic cover-up by church officials. The report identifies 75 clergy members credibly accused of abusing children as far back as the 1950s, and it questions policies from the diocese on how they handled those allegations. The report urges lawmakers to expand statutes of limitations so that more victims can pursue justice.
Can I ask, how has this not been done 10 years ago? I don't understand. Like, this investigation everywhere else was done 10 or 15 years ago, and now they're coming to a conclusion in Rhode Island. What took so long?
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is calling out companies like Dunkin' and Starbucks. At a rally last week in Texas, Kennedy said his agency was going to demand to see safety data that shows, quote, it's okay for a teenage girl to drink an iced coffee with 115 grams of sugar in it, end quote. The secretary said he didn't think those companies would be able to do that. And Fortnite is making a return to the Google Play Store. Epic Games founder and CEO Tim Sweeney broke the news on X Wednesday. It comes after Google agreed to a number of changes as part of its settlement in a years-long legal battle with Epic Games. Changes to the Play Store include lowering the commission for in-app purchases. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time 8:34. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
March, a month of transition, and we'll transition again today with a winter weather advisory in effect. That's going to be all of Oneida County and south and east again, as freezing rain could be a problem. We'll roll through today, clouds will thicken up, and we may see a little bit of rain, could mix with some sleet or snow later. That chance is going to be probably this afternoon through this evening, 38, so well above freezing. Tonight, right near freezing, so that means all the meteorological wintry weather, some snow, sleet, freezing rain, making for some slick streets and spots. Most of that precip should end early tomorrow, mostly cloud in the afternoon, 38. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stejik, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies, 34 degrees at 8:35.
All right, we have more to get to with Kelly Owens, and one of the things that is a huge issue is the using technology. You mentioned Fortnite to make sure your kids are protected, but also that there's not another kid doing something to your kid or your kid's not doing something. I mean, this is a real issue, and I hate to say, but it's the minute the hormones start to kick in, oh boy, in school-age kids, if they have phones. We'll get to that coming up. Let's talk about first impressions. The first door is the first thing people see. New York Sash wants to remind you that they have you covered. They're rolling out the Customer's Choice Door Sale. And here's how it works. Homeowners can take $1,000 off a brand new entry door or choose a free storm door with entry door purchase. It's completely up to you, which is why they call it the Customer's Choice Sale. A new entry door instantly upgrades curb appeal, improves energy efficiency, and adds security. And these are not off-the-shelf doors. They are custom-made for your home. Schedule a consultation with New York Sash today. Visit NewYorkSash.com or stop by the showroom at 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. New York Sash. Go to their website, NewYorkSash.com.
hurt in a car, call William Mattar. 315-444-4444.
Ready to buy an RV? Save big in March at the largest indoor RV show. The Spring New York State RV Show, March 5th through 8th at the fairgrounds. 9 dealers, over 400 RVs. It's the place to buy. Get discounted tickets now at nysrvshow.com.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
All right, question, are you a fraud-paying American? 1 in 4 tax-paying Americans have been a victim of identity fraud. Now, with LifeLock, if your identity is stolen, they will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Now, could be from your salary or overtime or a second job. It's gone. But this year, you do not need to stay a victim. Save up to 40% off your first year. Use the promo code Hannity. Just go to LifeLock.com today.
It's hard to know what to do when you lose a loved one. You need someone you can trust to help you navigate all the options. Mohawk Valley Monuments has been providing comfort and delivering quality memorials in our community for over 95 years. Mohawk Valley Monuments has experience with all the local cemeteries, from simple grave markings to intricate family mausoleums. For personalized service, call us today at 315-724-7629 or visit us at mohawkvalleymonuments.com.
Don't overpay for your next mattress. Mattress Express is upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. Bring in any locally advertised price on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or go to mattressexpressny.com.
I was ordering food from our usual place for the big meeting. My VP said, "Please, God, no."
For workplaces suffering with corporate catering deficiency, every day's a struggle.
The food was always meh and over budget. Before Easy Cater, I thought that was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat CCD with a huge variety of restaurants, help meet dietary needs, and stay on budget. Use daily. One platform lets you save time and thrive. Ask your web browser about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now at your local GNC.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, thank you, Davey. All right, but I might need one, so why don't you set me up? All right. In studio right now, Tim Reed. Tim, good morning.
Good morning.
We at one point this morning earlier, Tim was like, "Why did I come in today?
Exactly.
Why am I here?" Of
It's
course,
good to see you, Tim.
Manaski and Kelly Owens is in here. Let's talk about some of the what I think really is a big topic, and that is technology. It can be misused with adults. Happens all the time, but also it's almost like with the minute the hormones kick in with kids going into middle school, junior high school, is when the problems seem to begin. Many of these kids have cell phones today.
Yeah, and it actually, we're seeing it begin as early as third grade.
Yeah.
And the minute there's access to unfettered access,
Right,
which is our generation's fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that so we did a study with Brown University around technology facilitated abuse around youth. And one of the places that I think we also forget about is the gaming world and the amount of abuse and technology facilitated abuse and gender-based violence that's happening on gaming platforms, and particularly around young boys, is off the charts.
And you do not know who the other person is.
No.
And that's this is not your old-fashioned Nintendo where it's you and the person sitting next to you playing. You're
Mario.
playing online against people around the world. Yeah.
And it's really a breeding ground for that kind of abuse and grooming. 2 years ago, the governor tasked us to do some work around this. So we've got like 3 initiatives going. One of them is our Power Down Speak Up initiative, which is targeted at students. It's targeted at teachers, so teachers understand what to do and how to handle it when it's happening. Law enforcement, because law enforcement's really, okay, what am I looking at and what am I seeing and how do I charge for it? So those are really places of which, and parents, and helping parents. So Power Down Speak Up is a whole campaign about how do you get the tools you need to, if this is happening, what you do and what you do appropriately. We also have a cyber crimes grant in which we're working with law enforcement and the courts around how do you charge and what's happening, and really educating law enforcement and the courts about that. And then we're also really looking at, from the perspective of how do we get the tools into the schools, and how do we get to the schools what they need, because it's better now, but it's rampant, and it's something that we don't understand. Often somebody will say, just turn off your phone. Well, if your whole life is dependent, and your social life is dependent on your phone, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's really a new way of looking at how do we handle these situations in a way that gets us what we want and keeps kids safe online from people. So,
well, the gaming thing is you'll get a group they'll be playing for hours and hours and hours. You wonder why nobody's outdoors, because they're sleeping, because they were up all night long playing somebody from who knows where.
Ordering DoorDash.
DoorDash.
Well, and these discords that they have, which are kind of these, there has been more than one shooting that's taken place in regards to it, that it, eyes wide open, that this was called for, that it was going to happen, and lo and behold, it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, they're saying that I'm going to go out and shoot someone or whatever it is. It's its own little internet within those groups.
Yep. And we're working with RPI. RPI's got an unbelievable gaming degree. We're working with them specifically about how do you put safeguards in place, and how do you make sure that folks know what's happening and how they can get help online while they're gaming.
The sad part of all this is there's so much good that can be done with this technology. There's so much advancement students can make, teachers can accomplish, schools can accomplish using the technology. But at the same time, so much bad. Right. There's got to be a way to create. You remember the old days of AOL? You were in the AOL community, which was very. And when you discovered the World Wide Web, that you could leave AOL, even back when there wasn't all that much out there, you could find a lot.
You could find a lot of stuff.
And today it's just the Wild West.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It is, and it's affecting, from where I work, interpersonal relationships and how we're making healthy relationships. That it's gonna breed even more unhealthy relationships as you get older, because you're not. This doesn't allow us to have consequences sometimes. Right. So
the other problem I fear is that in a lot of cases, and maybe it's because of a two-family house, families being broken up. So, and that's common today, right? So, but I find that there's usually one parent that's playing the role of the disciplinary figure, and the other parent wants to be the friend and is afraid to say no, is afraid to impose those restrictions. That is our generation's failure, I think.
I agree. I agree. And I was never that nice parent.
No, I know. And you knew I wasn't either.
I know.
Right? We were mean people.
Yeah. We were.
Terrible.
And my kids are okay. They're all right.
I even had my son say to me, If it wasn't for you making me do A, B, and C, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now today. That's a really nice compliment.
Yeah, but I do think it got away from us. I do think the technology did get away from us.
It did. Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to get my daughter a cell phone so she could call me and I didn't have to wait in the parking lot if she got out of practice and stuff like that. So
during, in 2010, right in that era, all of a sudden school shootings became a thing.
Yep.
So we wanted always to have connection with our kids. And, just like we always have. I mean, I have my cell phone or watch connection. Someone can call me at any time.
I know it's not healthy.
I have
I have two phones.
Yeah.
And one's next to my, we have become dependent and not been able to have. I mean, we're all sitting here talking, looking at each other. I don't know if you've been to a basketball game lately with kids, and they're all sitting there
on the phone
in a circle around their phone.
Yeah.
Texting each other.
Yeah, and how do you get to know people this way, and there's consequences to our discussion, and I get to know you. Like, who would have thought we'd ever be friends?
Who
Bill?
would have? It would.
This too shall pass.
It's a terrible omission.
I know. We've been friends a long time now, though.
As my
we
wife
don't see each other much.
As my wife says, give him time, he'll screw it up.
When you talk about the technology getting away, I mean, we're entering AI on top of this, which makes when you're talking about tracking someone's location or having this power over them, almost like this virtual spy. We haven't even scratched the surface on that.
No, we haven't, and I think that is our next area of public policy and regulatory reform that people are really pushing back against. But we need it. We need it. Our kids need it.
Yeah. Not to mention that
I need it.
You can create an AI person who looks exactly...
Which might not be a bad option for me.
Well, so I feel like there's good and bad there.
Well, they do exactly what you want. Never question anything.
And they're very supportive.
I had to actually tell AI to stop kissing my ass all the time. Like, I am not that brilliant. Stop telling me what a brilliant question that is.
But it seems like AI could make the tracking of, like, for instance, I have a 10-year-old son who plays things like Fortnite, and being able to track who he interacts with and I don't know,
like
the messages back and forth.
Use it for good.
But when you're using it on an adult or your significant other, it's a different purpose and a different motivation.
And if there's an agreement, right? If my daughter knows where I am all the time. I don't know why she wants to know that because she lives in North Carolina. She's never gonna, and I know where she is, and we have an agreement.
Life 360.
Huh?
I use the Life 360.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know what she uses.
Well, you can use your iPhone will follow you.
So she did it because I hike alone, and she's concerned.
It is important. That
is
a cool thing.
But there's an agreement. But at some point, you got. What if I don't want her to know where I am, right? Or if you're in a relationship with somebody, even your friends, and your relationship goes bad, and they start to use that tracking against you. Those are the things that people have to think about when they start sharing information with other people.
My wife, so the agreement is that we're all a part of this thing, but it's, I can see where my kids go. They also can see where we are.
Which is home.
Which is home doing nothing. Or my wife has an alarm on ours that every time I go to a certain place, a bell goes off and I get a text message that says, "Why are you at the casino?"
And you have an agreement.
And we have an agreement.
You have an agreement.
That's right. I power my phone down before I leave New Hartford.
You have an agreement that she should be able to do that. It's good for you.
That's what she's doing. It's probably good for me. Yeah, it probably is. Through all of this, is there any place where do parents turn?
Well, they can go to our website.
Okay.
They can go to
parents,
our website.
Not just parents, but grandparents.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can go to our website, and there's some tools on our website that can help them. They can also call us, but they can also there's a lot of resources at RPI that they can look at around this stuff. But there's going to be more coming from us.
All right.
That should be right in their face. Can I answer? I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
So I also want to mention that one of the programs that we run out of my office is called Safe Funds, and it is unrestricted funds that we can give to a victim of domestic violence in a way that really helps them very quickly get any resources that they might need.
Part of the oppression is they have their bank account controlled.
Yeah, often
And
financial abuses.
Then they have no money to escape.
Yes, and it could be somebody who has a great job, but their money is controlled by somebody else. So you can get that money here in Oneida County at the YWCA. They can help you get access to those funds to get you to a safe place. And that could be used for anything from shoes for your kids to transportation. So I want to make sure that folks know
big.
that's out there.
So that would be a place you can go. YWCA.
The YWCA has always been a stellar partner in this community.
Yeah. Anything else you guys have?
2 things coming up. I just heard back from Jack LaMedico.
Okay.
And some of these comments on YouTube are like.
So you know this story where
all supportive
council person talking to the fire department and arguing over how much money should be spent, and it came down to the gear, which some of the gear has carcinogens built into the fabric. You can spend more and get the gear that doesn't have the poison that can cause cancer. And in a debate at the council meeting, councilperson Jack LaMedico said something he wishes he didn't, and that was, well, that's why we pay you hazard pay. We really need to do everything possible to make sure that our firefighters.
And by the way, it turns out they don't.
It turns out they don't have hazard pay. But we want to make sure these people who put their lives on the line, any first responder, is protected.
So I reached out and I said, hey, Jeff Manaski, could you call into the Keeler show tomorrow or come in? Want to talk about the fire department? He replied this morning, Jeff, no thank you. Time to move on. Maybe down the road on another subject. Thanks again.
Okay. I don't blame him at all. Let me bring in, to wrap this up here this morning, and Davey, I might need something, but who knows, is John Decker. He is the chief White House correspondent with Gray TV. I was watching the press conference yesterday from, I believe it was the Oval Office. And again, best question asked came from our man, John Decker. John, good morning.
Yeah, thank you. Just to tell your audience, the question I asked has to do with the Strait of Hormuz. You know this quite well. Where you are, and I know it where I am, we've seen gas prices rise since this war started. And the reason has to do with the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world's oil goes through the strait every day. Before this war started, now zero is getting through. And as long as that's the case, we're going to see gas prices continue to rise. And my question simply was, when will oil tankers know when it's safe to bring their oil through the strait? What is the president doing to make it safe for those oil tankers? And that was the question that I asked to Caroline Leavitt, and they don't have a timeline. That's the problem. So we're going to see these gas prices as high as they are for the time being.
I thought it was nice that she didn't say to you, what are you, stupid? I already talked about this. I did feel bad for the CNN reporter who I thought, John, asked a legitimate question, because earlier in the day, Pete Hegseth had said, you're not focusing on the positives that we're accomplishing, the amazing things we're accomplishing in this conflict or war or whatever we're calling it.
Yeah,
Instead, you're covering the deaths. And the CNN reporter saying covering those deaths is not, we're not doing that to make President Trump look bad. It is something that we do as reporters, as we cover. We've lost 6 people here.
Yeah, and we pay tribute to these individuals that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. I think that the families appreciate that, that when we talk about who they were and why they joined the military and why serving their country was so important. That's not to denigrate anything that the administration is doing, but rather it's paying tribute to this great service that these people paid for our country. And, I think that's the only way to look at it. I think what Caroline was doing yesterday was circling the wagon. She was essentially supporting a colleague. This is Pete Hegseth, who made those comments earlier in the day during a Pentagon briefing.
Your take on what is the general thought right now? I realize the president is really trying to prepare us for a conflict that may be lasting longer. Maybe it ends before what they're predicting. What's the general feel right now? Certainly, The thought is that we had paralyzed Iran's offensive. That was not what happened in Israel last night, however.
Yeah, I think that the president has said that there are 4 objectives. One of those objectives has already been reached, and that is destroying Iran's Navy. But the other 3 have not been achieved, and that's the reason why the president has said that this conflict could last for weeks. And, what we saw yesterday in the Senate is the Senate essentially voting down this resolution, which would have hampered the president to prosecute this war against Iran. We're going to see the same thing happen in the House today. So Congress is giving this president free rein, and I think that will last up until there's this possibility of American boots on the ground and also a conflict that lasts longer than anticipated, because then you're talking about cost, and there's no authorization from the Congress to prosecute a war of such a lengthy time period.
It is interesting. We're being told that while gas prices are going up now, there are things that are being done. They're going to open up the strait. We're going to have oil flowing again, and you'll see gas prices come down. What the president is saying, lower than what they were previously. Boy, this is a midterm year. This is risky, I would think.
It's risky. You're so right. It is a midterm year, and one of the things, I've traveled with the president, a few times this year to Detroit, to Des Moines, Iowa, and one of the things that he always touts is gas prices. They were low before this war started. They were lower than when the president took office, and that's a great selling point to voters. Now the president can't make that point because they're actually higher now than they were than this time last year. So that's not a good thing. The AAA says average price of gas up 22 cents just since Saturday. And you've noticed it, filling up your gas.
For sure,
I do here as well, here in D.C.
All right, John, interesting stuff. Another day. Boy, there's no shortage of content at all.
No, there's not. But thank you always for having me on to talk about this past week, and we'll do it again next week. Have a great weekend.
You do the same, John. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
John Decker with Great TV. The Good Feet store. If you're dealing with pain, your back or your hips or your knees or your legs, it could all be coming from the way you walk. A free, no obligation, personalized fitting is right there for you at the Good Feet store. Reach out today, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. You can walk right in without an appointment. And portions of the program brought to you by Ricky Z and everybody over at Steep Pawnee Mazda on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. How about low APR financing on select 2026 Mazda models? You can see the dealership for details. They've increased their inventory, and they have a number of brand new vehicles on the lot with great financial opportunities. Just go in and say hi to Rick. Say you're looking for a better deal. Let's make your deal on a new Mazda. Steep Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
It is day 6 of the war with Iran. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and as Israel continues to go on the attack, Iran keeps countering.
Tel Aviv was under fire overnight as Iran is still trying to get off more ballistic missile fire. There have been 5 separate attacks over the past 12 or so hours.
Missiles that Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv were shot down as Iran also threatens the U.S.
And I want to read you a post that Iran's foreign minister put on X after the news of an American torpedo took down an Iranian frigate off the coast of Sri Lanka. And he says, in part, mark my words, the U.S. will come to bitterly regret precedent it has set. And so there is still a tough talk, despite the fact that Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, along with dozens of other leadership positions in Iran, have been taken out.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth will go to Central Command headquarters in Tampa today, and President Trump gives the operation on a scale of 1 to 10 a 15.
We're going to continue to do well. We have the greatest military in the world by far.
At the White House, Fox's Jackie Heinrich reports.
Right now, U.S. boots on the ground are not part of the plan, but the White House isn't ruling out the possibility. The more pressing need is securing the Strait of Hormuz to protect global energy flows. If necessary, they say the U.S. Navy will escort oil tankers through the strait.
The price of oil is rising again today, and at the gas pump, AAA's national average for regular has surged up 26 cents in